After a recent obsession with Stalker Gamma, I decided that it was time to right a wrong that had been bugging me for some time. Finish Shadow of Chernobyl. However, much like a rediscovered chocolate bunny from Easter last year, this game has not aged well. But if you can get past the weird chalky texture it leaves in your mouth and the occasional bug, it can be a pretty memorable experience. I'm Remus Venkosa, and I am on a quest to work through all the Stalker titles. So let's talk about Shadow of Chernobyl. Shadow of Chernobyl, released in 2007, the same year as all these other games, is the first entry in the series and sets up the Stalker universe by introducing us to the zone and the daily life of its various inhabitants. You play as a mysterious stalker, dubbed the Marked One, found barely alive after your truck is hit by lightning, clutching a PDA with a single mission listed: kill the S.T.A.L.K.E.R. You awaken with a case of amnesia and no recollection of the events prior to the crash. You are determined to uncover the truth behind who you are. Who is S.T.A.L.K.E.R? And maybe along the way, come to understand why everything in the zone is so messed up. As mentioned in my Gamma video, I've tried many times before to play this game, but due to frequent crashes, I never made it past the starting area. With my determination at an all-time high, I did some quick googling and found that this was a very common problem that people had been experiencing for a long time. After grabbing the Zone Reclamation Project, which is a collection of fixes and enhancements for Shadow of Chernobyl, and turning off dynamic lighting for some reason, I was off. I was back in Cordon with my old mates Wolf, Fanatic, and Pseudo. If you squint, everything looks exactly the same, sort of. I was prepared for the game to look aged, and in all honesty, I think it looks great. The dreary world, coupled with the creepy Atmos sounds, continually managed to draw me in, and make me feel on edge, especially when the time came to go underground. From nearby footsteps, the roar of snorks, or snarls of invisible bloodsuckers, there were moments where I progressed at a turtle's pace, completely feeling like I was about to be ambushed at any moment. From an audio and visual perspective, Shadow of Chernobyl still does a great job. I loved spending time taking in the different areas, but the real meat of Stalker is in its various systems. The inventory system is obviously a lot less complicated than the one in Gamma. Though there is quite a bit of information given through the UI, everything becomes obvious once each display is pointed out. Nearby PDA numbers, neutral, hostile, friendly people on map, I'm hungry, a light and sound meter for getting sneaky. Though I could never do enough damage with my silenced weapons or get close enough to an enemy to make it feel like stealth was a worthwhile path to take. The PDA is similar. There is a heap of information which is presented to the player, though navigating it is a bit clunky at times, especially when tracking quests. With that said though, when a mission requires you to travel to a different area, a waypoint is set to the area line, which is handy. Batteries don't appear to be a thing, nor is disassembling, which means I couldn't make the same mistake as I did before. Sorry, PDA. Because there are no batteries, you can pretty much leave your flashlight on the entire time if the mood strikes you. Some suits come with built-in vision enhancements, like night vision, which can be turned on and off. Embarrassingly, I did not realise this until quite late into the game, and actually spent some time searching various traders for a pair of night vision goggles to make underground travel easier.
I'm begging you, please do it.
A heap of NPCs scattered throughout the world provide opportunities for side quests. These quests are mostly kill or collect in nature, and sometimes give you a chance to experience just a little more of an area outside of where the main story takes you.
Bro. You really helped me.
These quests rarely pay off though, as the rewards given are usually a small sum of money and a handful of supplies, all of which can be found while out and about in great abundance. Unless I had exactly what the side quest was looking for prior to starting it, I found myself choosing not to do the side quests. Instead, I began selling artifacts from my travels en masse whenever I was hurting for coin, which was quite rare. While I love my time experiencing and exploring the world of Shadow of Chernobyl, combat is the game's biggest stumbling point. It is brutal in terms of how much damage it takes to kill an enemy, and also how weirdly inaccurate almost every gun is up until the final guns. Every dead body is a chance to recoup 10% of the bullets spent trying to kill them. I found it quite common to enter an area with some huge amount of ammo for a gun, only to leave with maybe a couple of magazines worth left. For a significant portion of the game, I was aiming down iron sights or down scope in a hope of getting headshots easier on long-range enemies. I'm not sure if these increase your accuracy at all, or just give you a front row seat to your bullets racing off in random directions, seemingly everywhere but the center of your mark. It's pretty frustrating. I went and asked my same mate who recommended Gamma whether he had a similar experience, to which he asked if I was playing on veteran difficulty or higher. Apparently, while the increased difficulty affects the damage dealt by enemies, it also affects the damage dealt by the player. This means, on higher difficulties, much more one-shot headshots. And secondly, he said to not use iron sights, but just hip fire, as it was pretty much equally as accurate. If not more accurate. Both of these suggestions made my head hurt, but after putting them to work, it made a huge difference. I slowly became accustomed to the gunplay and started to work my way through the hordes of enemies easier. It was really cool to see the origins of all the areas that I had visited in Gamma in their original state. Some missing the encampments that I was used to, some a bit more worse for wear, and others much easier to navigate thanks to more forgiving anomalies, no widespread side damage, or flashlight interference. I'm looking at you, X16 and X18. It was also cool to see the beginnings of some role-playing mechanics like hunger, time-based quests, and health effects such as being irradiated and bleeding. However, these were very basic, and had not a great deal of effect on the immersion of the game. Hunger appears rarely, and dead bodies throw so many sausages and cans of food at you that you can quickly deal with it by shoving 20 sausages into your guy's mouth on a whim. Time-based quests have multiple in-game days to complete, but time moves so slowly that you'll turn up a couple of hours later with it done, without really trying. The intricate health management of Gamma isn't here, but instead you have either big heal, baby heal, or syringe. You are close to dying? Have a big heal. You're a little banged up or bleeding? Chuck on a couple of baby heals. Pesky radiation sign appeared? Stab it with a syringe. Being low on health doesn't affect movement or vision, so you can have a bee's dick of health and be able to sprint along fine. Much like the sausages, the game throws plenty of meds at you, so I found myself chugging heals leisurely and not struggling to find adequate supplies until much later in the game where things get pretty dicey and being two hit is common. Overall, I enjoyed S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl, but probably count it as a one and done experience. Of the 7 possible endings, the one I got was absolutely not a good ending, but I don't feel driven to spend another 15 hours praying for single bullet accuracy just to uncover a slightly better result. The vanilla game hasn't aged amazingly, but thanks to the Zone Reclamation Project, I was able to work through the game and get to experience a few moments scattered throughout that I will remember for years to come. If anything, it has cemented my fondness of the series, and I can't wait to dig into Clear Sky soon. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hopefully will see you in the next video.
Imminent blowout! Round Mark 1! Hell is about to break loose!
Frank, we can't just leave him like that.
Just leave him. There is nothing we can do for him. The blowout is minutes away and we won't get through with him.
No, Frank, I'm not leaving him.